So we decided to take a real road trip. I love Scotland. I love the nature, landscape, lochs, water, peace and calm. But we decided to challenge ourselves. We took Flo, our camper van, and we took her on a real adventure. We travelled to Scotland, Shetland and the Orkney Isles to indulge in my passions of space, water, landscapes, peace and calm. And then we drove to Tuscany to challenge myself and experience the opposite. With people, busyness, driving on the other side of the road, tunnels and tolls. Pushing myself, pushing my boundaries, and experience the opposite of what I normally enjoy in trekking and travel. So come and join us on this journey as we discover people, places, passions, friendships, and history. And so, after a smooth 6-hour crossing from Lerwick to Kirkwall, we arrived in the Orkneys. Arriving late at night required a park up in the town centre. The council has allocated a number of spots in the car park for motorhomes and campers for a free 24-hour stay, so we took advantage of those. After a reasonable night's sleep and stocking up, we headed into the hinterland of Orkney mainland and to Evie, which was to be our base for a few days till we found our feet and made our plans. It took some time to acclimatise to the relative busyness of Orkney compared to the space and sparseness of the Shetland Isles. Being a nature lover and an avid historian, Orkney contained a number of my life bucket list visits. From ancient Neolithic sites to standing stones and memorials to sailors lost and battles fought. It has taken me many years to get here. I was determined that it would not be a tourist tick box exercise, but a deep dive, and if we come back, we come back. The must-visit experience was, of course, to Skara Brae, the best-preserved Neolithic village in Northern Europe, dating back some 4,500 years. By the time Stonehenge was being constructed, it had already been abandoned some 400 to 500 years previously. It's made up of a series of dwellings and a workshop given to views overlooking a bay and some fierce winds. A fabulous museum and a short walk bridge you to the site itself, and for a delve into Neolithic village life. You can no longer get down into the ruins, which is a pity and slightly distracting from our experience, although totally understandable when you witness coachload after coachload after coachload of visitors emptying into the car park. We chose to visit later in the day when most of the coach parties had departed for their various cruise ships. However, having experienced Yoljof in the Shetlands, where you can get down into the ruins, this experience felt a little lacking, if though still thoroughly engrossing. Broch of Gurness was, however, a little different. The difference it makes to be able to walk within the structures and be part of the story is worth the visit. A beautiful building close to Evie and on the shores of Ironhallow Sound. The Isle of Rousay, Old Norse for Rolf's Island, sits in the near distance. The settlement dates back between 500 and 200 BC, a relative newcomer when compared to Skara Brae. The broch stands at the very centre, and the estimate would have reached some 10 metres or so in height, though now it ventures a wee bit above 3.5. A bright, beautiful day, if somewhat once again windy, for a good visit and to imagine what it was like being part of the Iron Age. The ring of Brodgar and the standing stones of Sdly being the prize of my bucket list, and neither disappointed. Though the standout for me was the comet and watchstone. The grey, misty morning mixed with occasional bouts of Sdly actually made the experience even more powerful, and an early rise meant we were lucky enough to have the site to ourselves, not another soul around, just the sound of wind and oyster catchers, allowing you time to sit and be with the site and take your time. There is always something mysterious and awe-inspiring when in the presence of a stone circle, both in a physical and emotional sense. There is an air around these stones, a magic, an ethereal feeling, maybe just based on the unknown stories, folklore and fairy tales spun around them. But the sculptor, Andrew Goldworthy, once wrote, "There is life in a stone. Any stone that sits in a field or lies on a beach takes on the memory of that place. You can feel that stones have witnessed so many things." And I think he has a point, because when you placed your hands on these stones, you could feel it. The only downside is that the ring of Brodgar is now kind of fenced off, so you can't actually get amongst the circle and touch the stones, but it's still an amazing and moving experience being in his presence. Prior to crossing to Lambsholm, we paused to look out across the straits from the mainland to the small island. Through this small gap on the night of Friday, October the 13th, 1939, U-47, captained by Captain Lieutenant Gunther Preen, made slow progress on the surface around the block ships and through the Kirk Channel at high tide. The sky was bright lit at times by the northern lights, and also Preen claimed at one point the U-boat was caught momentarily in the headlamps of a passing car as he made progress through the sound, and at 27 minutes past midnight he entered Scapa Flow. And when you look at this narrow stretch of water, you realise what a feat of seamanship it was. He left via the same route at 2:15, some 2 hours and 8 minutes later, having sunk HMS Royal Oak. But that is a story for another time. As you cross Churchill Barrier No. 1 to Lambholm in the direction of South Ronaldsay, you come across the Italian chapel constructed by Italian POWs captured in the Desert Campaign and housed on the island. They were used as labour to construct the various barriers built to further protect shipping in Scapa Flow as a result of the U-boat attack on the 14th of October 1939. The chapel is constructed of 2 Nissan huts which are bolted together to create a beautiful chapel. To the very west of South Ronaldsay, where the road terminates in a small car park and along a dirt track and a mile or so walk, is Hoxha Head and the Hoxha and Balfour Batteries. A battery has been in existence in the area since 1915 and was built and fortified to defend the anchorages at Scapa Flow. There are the remnants of observation posts, magazines, powerhouses, gun and searchlight emplacements, as well as hut bases and other general purpose buildings. It's a cold, bitter, windswept environment, and I cannot imagine what it must have been like in the depths of winter. Something about quiet, deserted beaches that appeal to me, and this one this morning in Ophir, which is just on the south coast of the mainland on the way to Stromness from Kirkwall. This morning is absolutely stunning. I mean beautiful. Not a soul around. Beautiful sea, no wind to speak of, and considering the last 15, 16, 17 days that we have been in Shetland and Orkney, one of the things we've been dealing with is wind. There's nothing this morning, just the vaguest of breezes, blue sky, a few fluffy, thinning cumulus clouds, and gorgeous blue North Sea. Though it's never easy walking on a pebbly beach, I have to say. But it is beautiful here today. And what a send-off from Orkney. Having been on the Shetland and Orkney Isles for 16, 17 days, here we are, final day, and a final send-off from Orkney, as if to say, haste ye back. What a beautiful, beautiful bay and a beautiful end to a beautiful journey. Looking forward already to coming back.